People always say family won't turn on you. They're wrong. Because mine did, and it all started with a necklace I never touched and a lie I never saw coming. One moment I was pouring coffee at my younger sister's birthday brunch in her loft in downtown Portland. The next, she stood up, clinked her mimosa glass, and said loud enough for the whole room to hear, "She stole my $9,000.00 necklace." Laughter stopped. Forks froze mid-air. And just like that, I wasn't Haley the sister who covered the bills. I was Haley the thief, the liar, the shame. They kicked me out that night. No warning, no suitcase, just a single bag and a door slammed shut behind me. What they didn't know, I had been paying for everything, the rent, the utilities, even my sister's graduate school tuition. So when I left, I didn't just take my belongings. I pulled the rug out from under their entire lives. This is the story of how they tried to ruin me and how, piece by piece, they ended up tearing down their own world instead. My name is Haley Tran. I'm 32 years old. If you told me back in March 2023 that my own sister would accuse me of stealing a $9,000.00 necklace just to humiliate me in front of our family, I would have laughed. Not because she wasn't capable of being cruel, but because I didn't think she'd be that calculated. But she was. And what came after? No one saw it coming. Let me take you back to that morning. It was a bright Sunday in early spring. Calm outside, like nothing could go wrong. Inside her apartment, though, a storm was brewing. My sister Ava had gone all out. Balloons, champagne flutes, personalized menus. She even hired a photographer to snap brunch photos for Instagram. It felt excessive, but I helped her anyway, just like I always did. Because that's who I was, the quiet one, the helper, the dependable daughter. I was the one who paid our internet bill, our electric, even covered the mortgage when Dad lost his job. I never said a word. I didn't need the credit. I just wanted peace. I even paid Ava's tuition, direct to her university, every month, from my own paycheck. She didn't know I did it to protect her. To keep our family from falling apart after Dad lost his job and Mom's side business started bleeding money. Turns out, all I really did was make it easier for them to betray me. That morning, everyone was laughing at the brunch table. Mimosas were flowing. My uncle had just told a corny joke. Plates clinked. Ava was showing off a new designer handbag, one I hadn't seen before. Then she stood up, tapped her glass with a spoon, and said, "Before we go any further, I just want to say something important." I thought she was going to thank everyone, or maybe announce a fellowship. But no. She looked straight at me and said, "I know this is awkward, but Haley stole my $9,000.00 necklace. The gold one Grandma Tran gave me. I've been looking for it for weeks, and yesterday I found it hidden in her drawer." My heart stopped. The room froze. And then, just like that, everyone believed her. No one asked if it was true. My mom gasped. "I knew it," she said. "You were always jealous of Ava." My dad wouldn't even meet my eyes. I stood there, frozen, shaking. My mouth opened, but no words came out. I hadn't taken anything, but within seconds, I became the thief. The lie, the disgrace of the family. They told me to leave that very night. No suitcase, no hug, no second thought. Just one duffel bag, my laptop, and a slammed door behind me. What they didn't know was that I was the one holding their lives together. But they were about to find out. That night, I didn't cry. I should have, but the betrayal, it was too sharp for tears. I lay awake in the spare room at my friend Nadia's apartment, staring up at a ceiling that didn't judge me. She offered me a place to stay, no questions asked. I didn't tell her much, just that there'd been a fight and I needed space. But deep inside me something shifted. Broke. Hardened. For years, I paid for a house I didn't even own. I covered Ava's grad school while she posted fake deep quotes and poolside selfies, blessed to be Daddy's favorite. I paid for groceries, plumbing repairs, Even mom's mani-pedes when her card declined. And what did I get? A public betrayal. No defense. No one even asked why I would steal something like that. They didn't need the truth. They just needed a scapegoat. I was guilty because blaming me was easy. That night, I opened my laptop and logged into every account I'd quietly managed for years. One by one, I began cutting the cords that held their lives together. I canceled the mortgage autopay. I stopped the monthly transfers for utilities. I pulled the plug on Ava's tuition payments. Every last cent. The house was still in my father's name. The bills still landed in my mother's inbox. They'd figure it out soon enough, and when they did, I wouldn't be there. I didn't leave a note, no warning. I just vanished. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I felt light. No pressure, no responsibilities dumped on me like some family pack mule. No one treating me like I owed them survival. But peace? That didn't last long. By the 10th day, chaos came knocking. A message popped up from an unknown number. Did you cancel the power? The Wi-Fi's down. Ava has midterms. Fix this. No greeting, no are you okay, just all caps like I still lived down the hall, waiting to clean up their messes. I didn't reply. The next day, my dad called. I let it ring. Then came a voice message. His tone not angry, just off. Haley, I don't know what's happening with the bills. We're getting calls from the power company, the gas company, even Ava's school. She says her portal's locked for non-payment. Can you just call me back? I almost laughed out loud. Payment issue. They still had no clue that for years, I had been the one keeping everything afloat. By day 12, my inbox flooded with overdue notices. Disconnection warnings. Emails from Ava's university saying her enrollment had been suspended pending financial review. By day 14, the penny dropped. That's when my mom showed up at Nadia's apartment building. How she found me, I'll never know. I didn't open the door. I just stood behind it, watching through the peephole as she pounded her fists and screamed. You ungrateful brat. We gave you everything. You think leaving makes you strong? It makes you pathetic. She didn't know. She didn't know they were the ones who had taken everything from me. That I had been the one paying for the heat in her house and the avocado toast she posed on Instagram. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, or felt invisible in the family you gave everything to, hit subscribe. Because what happened next? It changed everything. And I wasn't going to explain it, not to them. But life has a funny way of bringing truth to the surface, even when you stay silent. Because 2 days later, I got a message that changed everything. It came from Erin, our old neighbor, the one who lived a few doors down. A single mom in her 40s, who ran a modest photography business out of her garage. She used to babysit Ava and me back when our parents were too busy to notice us. I hadn't heard from her in months, so when her name popped up in my DMs, I nearly ignored it. But the preview froze me. Haley, I need to show you something. I heard what Ava did. I have proof. My heart started pounding. I opened the message with shaking hands. But she had attached an audio clip. It started with background laughter, young women chatting, music, wind. Then Ava's voice, loud and clear. Of course, I planted it in her drawer. I needed people to see Haley for what she is. Mom always says she acts perfect. Let's see how perfect she looks once she's kicked out. I stopped breathing. My ears rang. My skin went cold. She said it. She framed me. She confessed, out loud, to setting me up in front of our entire family. Erin messaged again. She was talking to a friend in the backyard while I was testing audio equipment for a shoot. My mic picked it up. I didn't realize what she was saying until I reviewed the footage last night. I sat there, stunned. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But mostly, I wanted justice. I asked Erin if I could use the clip. She didn't hesitate. I already sent it to Ava's university. People like her don't deserve to get away with something that vicious. Just like that, the first crack split Ava's perfect little world. 3 days later, she was called into a disciplinary hearing. Her Instagram, dark. No brunch spreads, no flawless selfies, no sponsored content. Silence. Meanwhile, my mom's Facebook had shifted from praise-filled posts to cryptic quotes about betrayal and loyalty being a two-way street. I didn't need to explain a thing. The truth was already doing the work, and I was just getting started. The audio clip didn't just stay private. It spread. It landed in group chats, then on a student forum. Whispers echoed through campus hallways. Professors who once favored Ava now avoided eye contact. And just like that, the golden girl, the one who flaunted her brand deals, influencer status, and straight-A streak, was suddenly a joke. She tried to control the fallout. She posted a long-winded Instagram caption filled with vague phrases about family betrayal and misunderstood moments, accompanied by a black and white photo of herself, crying, probably fake tears. Then she turned off the comments. But it was too late. The truth had already sunk its teeth in. And then came the final blow. Ava was suspended. Academic dishonesty. Code of conduct violation. Not just for framing me, but because this wasn't her first slip. Turns out she had plagiarized a paper last semester and only got a warning. This time, the university didn't hesitate. She came home sobbing. Mom spun into a frenzy. Dad just sat at the kitchen table in silence, sipping coffee like it was the only thing holding him upright. The house, once noisy, dramatic, and dressed up for Instagram, went still and cold. And here's the kicker. They couldn't pay for anything. The mortgage, past due. Utilities, shut off one by one. Mom called the electric company in a panic, only to hear the account was permanently closed. In my name. They had no savings, no backup plan. Because for years, they had relied on me. And me is finally living. Mr. Landon, my manager at the marketing firm, had noticed how steady I'd been through it all. He pulled me aside and said, "You deserve a fresh start." He offered me a promotion, plus a relocation package. I took it. Now I live in a sunlit apartment on the 12th floor of a downtown high-rise. No yelling, no gaslighting, no manipulation. Just me, breathing, building, thriving. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. 2 weeks after settling in, my phone rang. It was Aunt Melissa, my mom's older sister, the one they claimed was unstable and jealous when she left town years ago. Turns out they weren't afraid of her mental health. They were afraid of what she knew. "Hey, sweetheart," she said warmly. "I saw your name in that student forum story. I've been watching quietly, and I think it's time you knew the truth. Your grandmother, your dad's mom, left a trust fund in her will," Aunt Melissa said gently. "It was meant for you. Only you." I sat up straighter. "Wait, what?" She sighed. "They never told you? After she passed, they convinced the lawyer not to notify you, said you were too young, that they'd manage it until you were older. But Haley, that money was never theirs." My heart thundered in my chest. "How much are we talking about?" "Just over $85,000, 0 cents. She wanted it to help you start your life. College, a business, a cushion so you wouldn't struggle like she did." I was stunned. Melissa continued, "I only found out because I ran into her estate lawyer last week. He assumed you already knew. When I realized you didn't, I had to reach out." I was speechless. They lied. They stole my future. All those years I was bailing them out, going without, silently fixing what they broke. And they were hoarding money that was mine. Aunt Melissa helped me file the necessary paperwork. The lawyer verified everything and processed the transfer. Within weeks, it was done. Every last cent was legally mine. That night, as I watched the balance hit my account, something deep inside me healed. Not out of revenge, but because justice had finally arrived. With the trust fund in my hands and my salary better than ever after my promotion, I didn't just feel free. I felt limitless. For years, I had worked in the background, paid the bills, cleaned the messes, stayed silent. Now, I wanted to be seen on my own terms. That's when the idea came to me. I used part of the trust to launch a YouTube channel. Money Made Clear with Haley. I filmed my first video in the bright corner of my new apartment. It was titled, "They Called Me a Thief, but I Was the One Paying Their Bills." It blew up overnight. Thousands of comments poured in. "This is my story too. You're so brave for walking away. They never deserved you." I began teaching financial basics, how to budget, how to recognize financial abuse, how to walk away from being used. Sponsors reached out, podcasts called, blogs asked for interviews. My story wasn't just mine anymore. It became a lifeline for anyone tired of being the family doormat. And my parents? They sold the house. Without my support, they couldn't afford to keep it. Ava tried launching a new social account, posing as a self-care guru. It didn't last. No one forgot what Ava did. Because reputation? It's a lot harder to rebuild than a bank account. One afternoon, I got a text from my mom. Just 5 words. "Can we please talk, Haley?" I never replied. Because I no longer needed closure from the people who once threw me out like I was disposable. I had found my peace. Now, every time I sit down in front of my camera, every time I press upload, I remember the moment Ava pointed at me and said I stole her necklace. And I smile, because in trying to tear me down, they built something they never expected. The strongest version of me I've ever known. They kicked me out. So I built a kingdom. And this time, no one gets to steal it. It's been nearly a year now. A full year since I was shoved out of the house I once helped hold together. A year since I was branded a liar, a thief, a burden, by the very people I was silently saving. Funny how life works. Back then, I thought I was losing everything. But really, I was finally being set free. Now I wake up in a quiet, sun-filled apartment high above Portland's skyline. I sip my morning coffee at the window, answering emails from collaborators, clients, and people who actually value what I do. I've grown my channel to over 600,000 subscribers. I've spoken at conferences, been featured on podcasts, and helped thousands, especially women, untangle themselves from toxic financial traps and start over. And sometimes, through cousins or friends of friends, I hear that my parents watch my videos in secret. Even Ava. Apparently they're shocked I turned out this way. But the truth is, I didn't turn into this woman. I always was her. They just never looked closely enough to see me. Now, they can watch me from a distance. Sit in the silence I once endured. Feel the loss of the one who kept the lights on, the fridge full, the chaos contained. I don't hate them. I don't even wish them harm. But I do hope they understand this. When you bury someone in lies, sometimes they bloom. And that's exactly what I did. They tried to destroy me. Instead, I built a life they can only watch but never touch. If you've ever been betrayed by the ones you loved most, or blamed for something you didn't do, hit subscribe. Because your breakthrough might be just one choice away.